Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
Tough to beat the same team twice in a row, 3 times in such a short stretch of the season. What were you most impressed by tonight?
I liked our start again. We came in saying that, to do what you're talking about, beat a team, twice in a week and on their court, and you have to have the right approach coming into the game that, you're going to get a response from them, and you got to come out with a certain level of intensity and attitude about the game. And I like that right from the jump. And I like that everybody up and down the roster contributed. Those are probably the 2 things I like the best.
Tosh was listed as questionable, didn't know if she was going to be able to. A couple days ago, she came out and was really aggressive and kind of jump started that run in the first quarter. What worked so well for her tonight, and how, she said pregame, that she wanted to push through, how impressive is it to have your leader push through when she's not feeling 100%?
It's great. We kind of were talking about today. I'm like, gosh, gonna be good tonight. You just, sometimes when you're going through something like that, it kind of relaxes your brain a little bit. You just play, you're not thinking so much about, you've worked for a couple of days getting yourself physically right, and then you just go out and play the game. And I thought she made good adjustments from the last game we played them. She was, aggressive and found her spots. We helped her with maybe a little better spacing when she had the ball in pick and roll, and she just made plays.
Another good night offensively, but still, they only shot under 30%, 9 points in their first quarter. Is this again another example of the defense that you guys want on a nightly basis?
Honestly, I thought they missed some shots, and I thought we were okay defensively tonight. I think we're gonna have to be a lot better on Sunday. We had a lot of breakdowns in the second half, and we had way too many fouls in the second half. So I thought it was okay. I thought we handled some lineups that hadn't played much together. We did all right with that stuff, but we can be better defensively.
And just the last one, first impressions of Abby, real game time situation.
She took my little chat about being aggressive to heart. He was hunting, so it's good. I mean, you want that, you can figure out how to get her into the offense, and she'll get more comfortable. But it's hard to work with somebody who's afraid, and she's not afraid.
Thank you.
Yep.
First of all, Coach, how you doing?
Great, thanks.
Just 2 for you tonight. It's okay. One being, if you have a point guard that goes out and grabs 11 boards, what dynamic does that bring to the Washington Mystics? That's Slim.
Yeah, I mean, we play a little bit smaller on the perimeter with Tosh, Ariel, and Slim. We don't have a big wing, so to have one of our guards be able to do that, and Slim's been on the glass all year. I know some of the coaches on my staff been on her about her rebounding, like more encouraging. It's been good. Keep it good. Keep that as part of your game, and every time we can do that gives us a chance to push the ball, especially when it's in her hands, because the way she can push it.
You talk about a total team effort with me going overseas, and that you have Shatori step up with timely threes. Abby was confident.
Yeah.
Amanda comes in and has a big block.
Mm-hmm.
The bench was talking. Just the intangible aspect you saw tonight from the bench.
Good all the way around. Like I said, I played them in some combinations maybe that hadn't played a lot together. I thought Maisha was locked in. Tiana gave us good minutes. Abby, like you said, and I thought that was one of Shatori's more complete games of the season. It helps when she's making shots, but that's not all she can do. She handled the ball some for us, ran a little point, did a good job defensively on their guards. I think across the board we handled their guards pretty well.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. My voice is going again.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I want to ask about, in the first quarter, you really made an effort to get a lot of your players in. Obviously, the score helped dictate that, but that's not the first time you've done that this year. Is that something you're really intentional about, is making sure that you get your key bench players minutes early on in the contest?
It's a little bit that, and it's a little bit, kind of trying to stagger that starting group a little bit after the start. So, I kind of generally get Elena out and then back in, and I do the same thing with Slim. I think it helps some of the people off the bench to play with a couple of the starters. So, when we finish the quarter, we've got a little mix of bench and starters in there, and it's the same going into the second. So, those guys have been playing better, our bench group, and they deserve it. So I trust them to go in, and, tonight they expanded our run at that point.
And it seems like when you guys are at your best offensively is when your offensive production is really spread out across the entire team, and you can see that again tonight. What does that say about your system, and that, like, you don't have to rely on Elena to get 20, 22 points every single night played. You don't need Tiara to get a double-double.
I mean, we have a lot of good players that are threats every night. And I think, you've heard me talk a lot about our ball movement and our playing two sides and our getting in the paint. That's a way to make sure, you can't just be democratic and everybody touches the ball the same. And we never use Elena, to create an advantage. But when the ball's popping and you're getting teams scrambling, it's going to find open players more. And I think, Ariel benefited from that. Tosh benefited from that, where maybe they were the initiator, the ball goes away, and then it's ending up back in a draw and kick into their hands. So, I thought Elena just played a really solid game, 4 assists, and probably could have had a couple more. She generates an advantage for us, and then it's on everybody else to, keep it and build and play with each other.
Thank you, Eric. Congrats again.
Thanks.
Jen?
Hey, Eric.
Jen.
Seems like you guys were able to execute a lot in those late shot clock situations. Does that just come down to like focus and the intensity that you were talking about, or what do you think is behind that, you guys being so effective there tonight?
That's nice of you. A couple of times we messed up the play and the ball bounced around. We picked it up and scored.
I think
Yeah, thanks. Maybe it's a little bit, maybe a little more calmness. When there's 6 or 7 on the shot clock, if there's 8 on the shot clock and you hear everybody yelling 8, 7, that's a third of the shot clock. That's a lot of time still to be able to make a play. And, I think we've gotten better at calming our brains down in those situations, picking our eyes up a little bit and knowing that we can still go make a play.
And then with Elena, now that she's played, I think 11 of the 12 games, do you notice anything different in like, do you feel like she's settling in any way now that she's getting consistent games that she maybe wasn't quite getting a year ago? Or does she look pretty much the same as she has since the start of the season to you?
That's tough to say. I'd say maybe the offense makes sense around her a little bit more now than it did at the start of the season. So when she gets double teamed, we're more clear about what should happen. When she gets switched on pick and rolls, we're more clear about what should happen. And she seems to be playing the same, but maybe it's not as difficult. She doesn't feel like she's playing against a bunch of bodies and contact the entire game.
And last thing for me, on the TV broadcast, it showed you talking to Elizabeth Williams post game. Looks like you maybe like flashed a 3 sign. Were you giving
No, she's turning 30 tomorrow. I wasn't talking any crap. She got her 30th birthday. No, I was not saying 3 now. Should make that very clear. It's her birthday tomorrow. Yeah. Don't start shit, Jen.
I'm just letting you clear it up. All
Thank
good.
you.
That's it, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I like that.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask, we know you weren't feeling good. Yesterday, the day before, and now, you came out really aggressive. Thank you. Eric even said, sometimes when people aren't feeling that well, they don't overthink things, or just how did it play out for you tonight? How did you push through?
Yeah, yesterday they actually told me to stay home, and I got myself up out of bed and was just like, I know my role for this team and I take that very serious, and I always want us to be in the best positions to win. And my team really rallied around me, whether it was people getting me food or stuff, hydrating me, our support staff, they really just helped me get better. Last night I was able to get some food down. So in the game of basketball, there's no excuses. It's my job to be the point guard of this team, to guard the primary best player on the other team. And I knew that I was going to go as best as I could, and understanding that my teammates are there to pick me up. That's always helpful when you're trying to play through some stuff. But again, there's no excuses. I'm a dog. I'm gonna push through, and I'm always going to do it for my teammates. I'm the leader, and I have to set the tone. So, sick or not, I'm gonna show up and play.
What, just about the entire group, entire game, what impressed you the most tonight?
Man, I think our offense, right? We talked a little bit earlier. We're still trying to figure it out, but tonight was probably the most that we've looked like ourselves. And even our turnovers down the stretch, it's like we're seeing the next play. So we can't be that mad about it. We're getting downhill. We're getting our shooters open. We're starting to learn the actions. So tonight was a really good showing for us offensively. Defensively, I know we're top in the league right now, but we haven't even been good yet. And so that's the exciting part about it is, but we go back off tomorrow, we'll practice Saturday, and we got to work on our ball screen actions more than anything. We fucked up a lot of our ball screen calls, and that put us in really bad positions, especially in the fourth. We can put them in the bonus with like 8 minutes on the clock simply because we weren't getting that right. So intentionality again, getting back on the same page, and especially when teams make their runs, being able to sustain and still through the adversity come together opposed to kind of separating there.
Next one for me. What's it say about you guys as a group? You know, it's hard to beat the team 2 times in a row. Hard to beat them 3 times early.
Hello.
Yeah.
And you can comment on this also, Elena, if you like. Just what's it say about you guys as a group to, you know, beat the team twice in a row like this, 3 times this early in the season when we know that's not easy?
I mean, I think it says a lot. That was our goal tonight coming in, was to finish the series here and not even leave it open. Chicago is a really good team. I know they're missing some pieces, but they're a team that's going to fight to the end. They have a really good coach in James that is able to bring game plans and just really keep them in a lot of these games. But for us, it was a focus for us to close this series and not even give them a chance at air to feel like they could come back and win. But I am proud of, I think where we turned the page a little bit tonight was our third quarter was much better. Where we got to get better is our fourth quarter was shit then. So it's like, we're getting there slowly, but it's a positive. There was a lot of positive things from tonight.
Outside one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Overall effort, what were you most impressed by today?
I think focusing on ourselves and trying to build upon what we've been seeing in some of these wins. Trying not to have those lapses, which yes, we saw a little in the fourth, but still much better. We still have to lock into some of our defensive schemes, especially with New York coming up, because they make you pay for it. But Chicago is a great team. They're really well coached. They're hard to play at home. It's always hard to play a team, you know, back to back like this, and 3 times already in the season. We know each other so well. So to see us make it tough for them, have mostly good defensive stretches, and then offensively things are starting to flow better. We're moving the ball side to side. We have better spacing, so all good things.
Just one for each. First, Tosh, you can just tell, you can't pick a vibe. The sisterhood you have, the bond that made you want to rally and get well for your team. Just talk about how this team is just special. You can feel the specialness of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of my favorite teams. I've been here 8 years and everyone gets along. Our locker room is really great. And I think we're starting to see that transition from our locker room to the court. We're starting to learn each other, but I run through a wall for anyone, especially the one sitting to the right of me. So for me, sick or not, I know that I'm the point guard and a lot is on my shoulders and I'm going to show up. Even if I can just give half of my best, I know that my teammates are going to pick me up, but it's important for me to be on the floor too.
She knows I go into full panic mode if she's not on the court. I'm like,
That's it, Delle. I was like, I'm still coming.
up, I'll hold a bucket. You need to be out there.
I'm still coming.
And she played phenomenal.
I think we can ask you anything basketball, but it was something that I saw for a fan pregame about you two. They came from DC and they just said, let Elena and Tasha know, thank you for the women empowerment, growing the game.
Cool.
How does that just feel knowing that you have young women, older women looking up to you as like beacons of hope?
Yeah, it's awesome. That's what this game's about. Because we're able to put a ball in a hoop, people like to listen to us. So we both try to do a lot with our platform and obviously try to, she says it all the time, give a voice to the voiceless. So we certainly appreciate that and we'll keep speaking up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tyler.
Hi, Elena. Hey, Tosh. Congrats on the
Tyler.
win.
Thank you.
Elena, I want to ask you about Tosh and playing through the sickness.
Yes.
Yeah.
What type of message does it send to the other players down the roster that you guys are down a couple guards? Tosh isn't feeling well, but she's able to come in and step up and have such a huge impact despite battling through this stuff.
That's just what Tosh does. That's why she's such a great leader for us. It's why she's our point guard, that we follow her. And she knows even if she's 20%. Having her out there is better than not having her. And it just brings that dog mentality to the group that not everything's going to go well. The season is very long. There's going to be days you have aches, pains, days you're sick. And to just show up and be there for us is huge. And it just shows how much we love each other, and you do it for the one next to you. I think when you're playing that way, that leads to great basketball. Thanks.
I appreciate that. And then Tosh, I want to ask you about the defense transitioning to the offense. With this intense defensive style that you guys put the pressure on opposing teams, how does it open it up for so many different players to get involved offensively? Because when you have multiple players having big nights like you saw tonight, it just seems like that's the best version of this Mystics team offensively.
Yeah, I think until we really figure out what our half court offense is and the chemistry, we really have to depend on our defense, and we're leading the league. And I told it to Kareem, I don't even think we've really reached our full defensive potential, especially in our ball screen coverage. So we weren't perfect, but we're so talented. We get hands on the ball, we're deflections, we're up in people's shit, we push them out of what they want to do. And when we can do that, it allows us to run in transition where we're really scary. And you can have wing players run the lane, we have post players getting out, rim running, and then we have people flowing in. So it really just allows our offense to flow and do what we want to do, which is run in transition. But until we get our half court offense figured out, I love our defense. It really does orchestrate our offense.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Jen. Hey, y'all. Tosh, career 3, number 200 for you tonight. How does
Thank
that?
you.
How's that feel?
Lord, if y'all knew where I started as a shooter, it feels really fucking good. It feels really good. We're getting shoot. I was in college. I got the Green Lake taken away from me. To now, that's it's been a consistent thing for me is being able to extend and get out on the perimeter and be better for my teammates. A lot of teams throw doubles off of me onto Delle. So when she's able to pass out, I got to be able to knock down open shots. And so I've taken that responsibility the last few years of just trying to figure out my form and really rep it and be better. And I know I started off the season shooting like shit, but don't let me get my shit right. Don't let me get it right. But no, it feels great. Even better to do it in DC. This is where I've been my entire career. So I really do hold this organization near and dear to my heart. And to do those 200 in a DC uniform means everything to me.
And Elena, you were talking about how you feel kind of nervous when Tasha isn't around on the court. And that just made me wonder, when you first got to DC, how quick was it developing that connection with each other? Was that like pretty instant, or did you guys have to work at that? Like, when did you start getting nervous?
Delle saved my career. And we're not going to go into what's or ifs, but you want to talk about a franchise player that really trusted in me and saw potential in me and greatness in me, and had the respect level, right, to have a really hard conversation that I needed to hear. And it changed my career. It changed my life. And I'm really grateful, because without it, I wouldn't have played next to the best player. And that puts me in a really, really good position. So shout out to Delle.
I love Tosh from the start. She was a little baby with some things we had to help her with, but
I'm crazy, y'all.
She wanted to be better, and I saw how great she could be. And I saw how good we were when she was on the floor and doing the things she can do. There's no point guard that plays with her pace, that can come off of drags the way she does and opens up the floor for everybody else. And she finds you in your rhythm, all those things. That's what she does. And then defensively, don't even get me started. She guards the best player night in and night out, makes it terrible for them. You just know, like, if Tosh is on someone, they're not going to have a good night. And that's really nice to be able to go into a game and feel. So yeah, from day one, I saw it in her. There was growth. She accepted the challenge, and now we're here. I'll never know.
You'll never know. How they gonna know?
They won't.
Last thing for me, just wanted to ask you about the new kid on the block, your first impressions of Abby Myers.
Man, I love her. She's just a hard ass working kid. The ability to come in and just play and not know any of our plays and be sound defensively, offensively. She's been a joy in the locker room already, getting out dancing for the team today. But she's great, and it's great to have. I mean, we're the Washington Terps at this point, so
Seriously, always. We love the Terps.
we love our Terps.
She's been great. And yeah, I mean, to come in and right away, like having to learn the offense, learn the defensive coverages, and feels like she's getting it so quickly. She's been awesome. She brings energy. She's locked in. She's been great in practice, great attacking in games. So happy for her.
Mid-major kid too, Tosh.
We love it. Princeton, shout out to it.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Thank you both.
Thank
See
you.
y'all.
See ya.